it was like a miracle, and you feel like all these people, all these doctors, they don't know how to cure you.
Sebastian, how did you find Carnivore?
That's a good question. I'm gonna start with a little history, because actually I wasn't looking for any better diet to lose weight or anything. It started when 2.5 years ago. It was in July 2022. My wife became very ill. I'm married, I have two kids. We're 20 years into our marriage now, and so she became very ill. What had happened? She had like this numbness or tingling on her hands and arms, like she had this feeling she's like wearing a glove of numbness, like to a certain point, and that's where she felt this weird feeling, and it went up to her arms, her back, her shoulders, and even sometimes her legs. It was really weird, and she didn't feel well. So that's how it all started, and then we started our journey to see doctors, um, many doctors, and you know how it is. You go to a doctor, you usually doesn't have much time for you. He tries to put it off with some quick fix to go to the next patient, and so but we insisted. Um, we went to health practitioners we knew and others we haven't known, and we're just looking for everywhere how to fix it. And the main thing at first was to get a diagnosis. So none of the doctors could give us some. They all just talked about syndrome of whatever is not well on your body. That's not really a solution or a diagnosis we could live with. So, and since it was the muscles or the nerves, that's what they suspected. Um, we went to a neurologist, to check the functioning of the nerves. And actually, one of the assistants, she had the idea, well, maybe it's Lyme disease. Could be that she had a tick bite, and that's when we started to investigate everything about Lyme disease. And since then, my wife didn't want to go to the forest anymore because in Bavaria and where we live, there are a lot of ticks. So she was afraid and was also worried about our kids that they would get the same, even though she didn't remember having a tick bite recently. She had one like 20 years ago, she remembered, but she didn't have any issue since then. So then we started to do the tour with all the experts on Lyme. Some doctors, or they had, or some people we asked, they suspected it to be something like fibromyalgia. I don't know if they pronounced that correctly, so mind my English, please. Um, so that was the next topic we were investigating, if that's what she has. We even went to a clinic in the southern part of Germany, in some 2 hours and a half from where we live. Um, and this clinic, they're specialized in treating patients with Lyme, and they do some sort of fever therapy. I don't know if you've heard of that, where they put you in an artificial fever of 41.2 degrees Celsius for, I think, 2 hours. So they heat you up 2 hours, they stay 2 hours at that level, and then they cool you down in a controlled manner. We were considering that, and they do it there. So, but thankfully, the doctor who was in charge there, they neglected our idea. Let's put it that way. Um, Even though we wished that we could have done it. So we did something to make it better, even though we didn't really know if it would help. We just heard stories of other people that had uh, found a solution for their health issues, and it would have cost us a lot of money. It wasn't covered by our insurance. So we're talking about, I don't know, 30, 40, 50,000 euros just for this therapy. So we were very, very desperate to do something because my wife was really, really feeling bad. And she even had, yeah, she felt like her life was over, more or less. She could function to take care of the kids, but I was taking care of a lot of the chores at home. It was really difficult. Um, yeah, we tried many other things. We went to other doctors. One of our uh, go-to solution was a an alternative practitioner we knew from where we lived 15 years ago, some 4 hours drive from where we live now. And we even went there a couple of times, just round trip on one day. Go there in the morning and return at night. And it was a relief for her because she knew the person. We are still good friends with him. And he's like an alternative practitioner and a chiropractor. Chiroprac, chiropractor, was that the word? Um,
That's right.
yeah. So we went to him a couple of times, maybe every other month, and it helped a lot. And the way he treated her helped her. It was like a massage type, adjusted her column or her bones, her arms, whatever was like not aligned. What the chiropractors do, um, but he didn't have a solution to help her. So that was basically the first year. Oh yes, and I was always day day by day actually. I massaged my wife, her arms, her legs, and we had different types of oils. After a while, we figured out that magnesium oil helps, or that for her to take magnesium baths. Um, we bought a what's it called, like a sauna blanket where you put it on your bed and it heats up for 30, 40 minutes, whatever you choose, and you can regulate the heat. So it's like a sauna at home. This helped her a lot, the heat and the sweating. We did a lot of stretching. Um, and
It must have been a pretty frustrating time because you couldn't get any answers from doctors.
tell me about it. Yes, the doctors, as I said, some of them where we paid, uh, which were not covered by our insurance plan. They took more time, obviously, because that's what you pay for. But they didn't have a clue. We did tests on the Lyme disease, and it was like mixed signals and not conclusive. So, and one of the frustrating parts was to not know what's the cause, what caused all this these health issues. So a year went by, more or less, and the story of my wife feeling ill, of course, made its way to family members, and a close relative who's suffering for years now with arthritis has a very good doctor who knows his way around with other pharmaceuticals. And so we went there. He examined my wife, and then he had a diagnosis, or his diagnosis was a little more conclusive. Was like this, the tissue between the that keeps the muscles together. Um, I don't remember the term right now, but it's like this, just underneath the skin, where you that was the cause, or there was the root of the soreness or the pain, but not really a satisfying diagnosis either. However, what he helped us with was to prescribe us some drugs, an antidepressant and a anticonvulsant. I have them here. It's like these. We still have the boxes. I don't want to name them to, or if someone wants to know them, I can tell you. But that helped a lot. So with that, on one more thing, which I forgot in the beginning. If you have pain, you go to the regular painkillers like ibuprofen or aspirin, and all those regular painkillers. They did not work at all. She could take a lot of them. She didn't feel any difference. So that was another issue. If you have pain and you can take something and you get a relief, at least for a few hours a night, maybe, so you can sleep, uh, that helps, but that wasn't available.
Right.
So,
What was the idea behind the anticonvulsants? What were they trying to fix?
well, the nerve reaction from the muscles, and
Ah, I see.
so so that's not, it doesn't, the pain doesn't reach the brain, more or less. That's my lay in explanation, lay terms. So
Thank
many
you.
many people that have like epilepsy or something, they take those and it helps them. And even though she didn't have any of these attacks of epilepsy, but um, which people would use it for, it helped to reduce the pain. However, and I guess the antidepressant has a similar function, so you don't feel so bad all the time. It's like this. It kills, or it's depressing the serotonin reaction, the SSRI, I think they're called. Um, so, but despite the fact that it helped, so she could think more clearly, she could do more things, and it was really a big relief. And we're very thankful for this doctor who helped us. The medication had some side effects which are pretty strong. So one of the side effects of the, I think it was the anticonvulsant, it was like flashes in the brain somewhere. That's how she described it. I don't know how to give it a better description, but and some, I don't know if it hurt, but having these flashes every once in a while, not all the time, constantly, but it was like a side effect she noted. And the medication, I think it lost, or they were planning to take away the right to sell it in Europe. Um, so that was worrisome as well. One on the one side, you can't get it anymore. On the other side, if they take it away, it must be not so good. So if you take something that's not so good, but it helps you, but you don't want to take it, so that's really uh, caused a lot of mixed feelings. But anyway, then we had this situation more or less or somewhat under control, which was already a relief, as I said. Um, so then my wife, she could also think better and continue looking for a solution, because she's very determined. And she said, no, I don't settle for this the rest of my life. And what if these side effects get worse and I get something else? If you read um, the note that comes with any uh, medicine, you get horrified about the possible side effects. So then eventually we came across Jordan Peterson. I've been listening to him a lot for, I don't know, 4 or 5 years maybe. about his issue with free speech in Canada and the way he teaches his psychology classes. And I was interested in that just for personal development, what's in there for me. But he also, every once in a while, talked about him not only eating beef. And I think he does a lion diet, only beef, salt, and water. I think he eats some lamb too. And also his daughter, Michaela Peterson, she had a huge boost in her health, and she could take care of her health issues of I don't know, 20, 30 years of her life from being very young, with just eating beef. So this is when I first heard it, I was like, nah, come on, that's crazy. You can't just only eat meat. You can't be serious. Um, and but you know how YouTube works. You look one thing, and then it feeds you a lot of other videos of similar topic or the same topic from other people. And then my wife once showed me a YouTube video from Sean Baker, not for the meat eating, but for he was he was filming one episode in the music room. So in the back you would see a beautiful piano. It was like a round room, and it's like like in a castle, but it's in his house. Um, and our daughter, she plays the piano, and my wife's like, "Oh, I would have loved to have something like that for my daughter." That's why she showed me the video, and that's when we also started to see more of Sean Baker and him talking about the health benefits of eating only meat. So that was that was 2023 in fall or winter time when we saw more of those videos, and so my wife was like, maybe that helps. And at first I found the idea repelling. Why would you eat only meat? But if you start looking at all those information, those videos, Sean Baker's, uh, one of the others called Chaffee, I don't have the names now, you know them, the regular the stars of the carnivore
And
community.
once you start watching them on YouTube, they all they all come into your feed, right?
Yes, yes, that's exactly what happens. So yeah, so they came into our feed, and we started talking about going carnivore. So we were sitting at the table. It was like around Christmas or after Christmas in January last year. Um, we were talking about it, and every once in a while, or our kids were there too. They're teenagers, and they were like worried, like you're gonna take away all the lovely food, the cake, the candy, pasta, pizza, and we can only eat meat. So they were worried, but we assured them, no, we won't force you to change your diet just because we do something really crazy. Um, and that's how we're doing it up until now. So we started talking about it. We got used to the idea, and then in February, March, we thought, well, just what the heck? Well, let's just do it. So we started. We bought some meat, and we just ate more eggs and left away the carbs, the fruit, the salad, the vegetables, and just went straight on without studying too much. Just do it, you know. And then came Easter, end of March. We thought, okay, it's Easter, we'll make an exemption. We had the chocolate eggs, we had cake and all that stuff. And after seeing a few benefits of 2 or 3 weeks, we started to feel bad again, because then you have like this huge sore belly with lots of food to digest. And then right after Easter, basically the 1st of April last year, we went full carnivore, and we for at least a month we only ate eggs, beef, bacon, and butter, more or less. We're not 100% strict, but we tried.
And
Um,
so did this have any impact on your wife's condition?
within within 2 weeks, being really strict on carnivore, um, my wife and I also, we noticed a lot of health benefits. I didn't expect too much for myself because I thought, well, I'm healthy. I don't have a lot of overweight, maybe 5 to 10 kilograms. That's like 10 pounds, 15 pounds maybe. I could lose some, yes, but other than that, I have a thyroid issue, but that's well medicated, which I tried to get rid of. I haven't started that process yet, but um, so I felt a lot of benefits, and my wife as well. So she, after maybe a month, well, she also felt better, obviously. But after a month, she could reduce the doses of her anticonvulsant by half. So instead of taking a pill in the morning and in the evening, she only took one in the evening or in the morning. I don't remember actually, but she reduced it to just one per day. So that was a benefit already. Um, and after 2 months, she could get rid of the anticonvulsant completely. Um, and she even, or when she intended to take it, but then she forgot. She felt so well that she forgot to take it, and after a week, she would look at her calendar. Wait, I didn't take a pill for a week now, and she felt so. Her health has improved so much that she didn't need to take it anymore. And since then, maybe once she came back to use it for a week, maybe two, but she could leave the anticonvulsant completely. And that was a huge, huge benefit, obviously.
That's fantastic.
Yes. So, and then there was still the antidepressant. She took that for maybe 3, 4 months into carnivore. And after that, maybe a dozen times, she got back to taking it for a few days or a week, even though the antidepressant doesn't work very well in the short term. When you take it, I think it takes some 2 to 3 weeks to take effect. Um, so she could get rid of that as well, and it was like a miracle. And you feel like, like all these people, all these doctors, they don't know how to cure you. They didn't know what she had. We still don't know what was really the cause. If she had Lyme disease, if it's fibromyalgia, which is sort of a temporary, I don't know what to call it. So that's how she got a lot better, just by eating carnivore.
So she's basically back to where she was kind of beginning 2022?
Not completely. Um, every now and then she has an episode where it hurts. She has this numbness. It's a lot less in terms of intensity. So it's usually I give her a massage and she feels better. And after a few days, it goes away again. The heat helps a lot. So the sauna blanket is has worked, has helped us a lot. And uh, so this, so basically we're over it, but not, I would say 95% of it is behind us.
Nice. And so what has happened with you?
Yeah, that's also interesting. Because I thought, well, I'm healthy, I'm fit, I don't have any issues. Um, I noted I've made a list here on my screen to note all the benefits I've noted firsthand. So I'll go more or less top to bottom. I have thicker hair. I didn't lose hair. I don't expect to be bald. I don't have bald parents or grandfathers. But I noticed that my hair got thicker and my fingernails. I had these spots, and they vanished more or less, or it's gotten better. They've not vanished, but I've noticed improvement. Um, in my eyesight, I used to have some like particles. I don't know, in the eye where you see like these dots, these tiny dots that
Oh,
would
yeah,
get
floaters. Yeah.
like floaters. Yes, um, those have reduced significantly. I've noticed that. My wife told me that my breath is not as bad as it has been before. And actually, when I was very strict on carnivore, I tended to forget to brush my teeth because my teeth didn't feel dirty at all. They felt like I've just cleaned them all the time. So that was a benefit. And in general, my body odor when I sweat, it's not smelly anymore, or as it used to be. Um, I noticed the my digestion went improved a lot. I only have digestion like 2 or 3 times a week, and it's uh, I don't use as much toilet paper as before. I'm sure many people have noticed that who go full carnivore. Um, and the digestion as in total, I don't ferment anything in my intestines, so I don't pass as much gas as before. And I know, or we notice it when we are among other people who don't do carnivore, and usually if you stay too long in a room and don't have open windows, you notice that many people are passing more gas than you're used to. I don't have extreme hunger. Breakfast with eggs and some meat usually satisfies me until the evening. And at noon time, I don't have really cravings to eat anything. What I noticed the most, that's the mental clarity. Like this brain fog that everyone talks about that clears up. I experienced the same. And I don't remember now after almost a year. I sort of don't remember how it used to be. I just noticed I'm clear. I don't have these episodes of fatigue during the day. Um, I can drive the car for 4, 5, 6 hours straight without getting tired. I used to get tired after a while, after an hour or two, or driving at night after, I don't know, a regular day. I would get tired behind the wheel and we'd have to change, or I'd have to take a break. That doesn't happen anymore at all. Um, I have better sleep. I'm a good sleeper. I always slept very well and I fall asleep very easily, but now I don't need as much sleep anymore. And I wake up before the alarm clock actually, and it's set to 4 a.m. So happens that I wake up and just after that the alarm clock sounds.
So how many hours are you sleeping each day?
I usually sleep 5 to 6 hours. So I go to bed at 9:30, 10ish, maybe 10:30, and I wake up at 4. I've noticed weight loss as well without trying much. I lost like 15 pounds in a matter of 2 months. Um, I quit snoring. My wife told me you don't snore anymore. I know that many people have noticed that too. And I have more physical strength. I can build up muscle mass a lot easier now. Um, and I'm more motivated to do workout. I usually just go once or twice a week to the gym, do a quick 40-minute workout, and that's it. And do some push-ups at home, some sit-ups, and but nothing really special and not very extensive. And it works out well for me because what I've also came across a lot in the past months or a year or two was what's how to prepare for aging. I'm almost 50 now, and I don't want to. I don't know. I don't want to retire and being like this old man who can't do anymore, any lots of things and needs to be taken care of and can't walk straight. I don't want to be like that. And I figured out that muscle strength is key to that, and so I'm more focused on that now. And I have my whole family do more exercise, just so they can be fit. Another thing I noticed was my resting pulse. It's always been low, between 50 and 60, but now I'm usually below 50 when I measure it after getting up and resting, reading a little, and then I measure it, and I'm around 50 or below 50. So I noticed that too. And one more thing, with the change of diet, we also left behind the seed oils. And I don't get sunburned as easily as I used to. With my light skin, if I don't know, work in the yard for a few hours in the bright sun, even here in Germany, you get a tan or a sunburn. I don't have to go to the beach to get a sunburn, so I don't get sunburn as easily as before. So that's something I've noticed as well.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I wanted to go on. So even my children, um, even though they hesitated, they were very preoccupied about their food. I love food. I love eating all different variety of food. So they were worried that they won't get their food, but by now they also prefer to eat the steak over the pasta, even though sometimes they crave pasta or rice or pizza, and then we'll buy it or we make it for them. And sometimes we also try from it, eat from it, even though afterwards you don't feel well. But um, it's not that bad for us as with other people who'd like get, I don't know, rashes or other extreme symptoms right away. We don't get that. But obviously we try to avoid it. So they prefer the meat option as well. And we do like 3 to 4 times a week. We have our ribeye. We bought this beefer where you can uh, prepare it really fast. I've figured out how much time to put it there to get it like we like it, like everyone likes it, and we enjoy eating it a lot. And it's just so, how should I say it, so delicious. The first bite, you relive, or the energy comes back to you immediately. So um, that's so even they had benefits. My children, my daughter, she lost weight unintendedly, like 10 pounds almost, without even trying. So that was also a fun fact or a nice benefit that wasn't really intended.
That that must be kind of very confidence building for a teenage girl, yeah?
Yes, yes, we're on her to keep to stick to the path, and she likes the food. So it is good. I mean, we try to eat to get good good meat. We buy it in a bulk of 10 pounds, and we cut it, we freeze it, so we always have something available and at a good price. Because yeah, if you buy it individually, it kind of gets expensive.
Yeah. So you're eating twice a day. Um, has anyone outside your family kind of seen you eating or not eating and said, "What's going on?"
Well, at work, obviously, I can't avoid it. So when I go for lunch with my colleagues, I usually look for the meat option. It's not always the best or pure meat, um, but oftentimes there's leftovers from the other day. So I would find some meat. I skip the potatoes, the salad, the vegetables. I just have meat. And if there isn't anything, I can always go to the salad bar, because at the salad bar they also have like these sausage or ham. They have cheese. They have cooked eggs. So I load my salad plate with animal products. So they will. So then my colleagues, they would ask, "Oh, you're doing low carb." Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Has a lot of health benefits, but as they're all most of them are young and healthy, they don't bother thinking about change of diet. And so sometimes if I have a one-on-one uh, lunch, uh, we would go more into to detail why I'm eating this way, and then I tell the story of my wife, how she had huge health benefits from eating this way, and I supported her. So I don't know of anyone from my colleagues having copied me. Actually I had one who told me that it's really good that he's done it, but he loves carbs too much, so he doesn't do it.
And, like, generally in Germany, is it a big meat eating culture there?
Um, the usual is that on Sunday you have meat, and was like this, like some, I don't know, 50, 60, 70 years ago, when you have the war and people couldn't afford to have meat. So that made a big impression on the culture, that people would eat on Sunday meat, and during the week some maybe cheap alternative like ground beef, or just a meat soup. They would have that. Of course, a lot of people eat a lot of bread for breakfast. So they would put butter and some meat, some salami or ham, or all the kind. We have a lot of different what do you call them, lunch meats. So that's the culture, and but always you have the meat, like the schnitzel or any other meat option, and then you have the side dishes. And the side dishes, they the name we use is to fill you up, to satisfy you. So you eat the potatoes, so you don't, so you're full, more or less. But it's not really to nourish you. It's just to feed your bacteria in your intestines. So it's a little schizophrenic. Why would you eat something just to be full? Why don't you just eat the meat that also makes you full and satisfies you? So many people in Germany, they would say no, the environment and meat has such a bad footprint, needs so much sources. Like you can feed 100 people uh, with vegetables or grain, um, or one person with meat. So that's the calculation that is that we see in the media all over. And of course, many people believe that. They stick to that. They don't do their own research. So that's what they eat. And I mean, if they don't get sick, if they feel well, it's everyone's choice.
Yeah. It's it's a shame though because, you know, as you say, they're not really satisfying themselves and
Yeah,
they're also setting themselves up for health problems later in life.
exactly, exactly. I do have one person in my family um, that is now trying to do to carnivore. Yeah, we have a good relationship with her, and she has some health issues. Um, she's more focused on losing weight, and she's been doing it since January this year after seeing our results, and especially the one from my wife. So she's already lost like 20 pounds in 3 months. So I don't know if it's one or two sizes of her clothes. She's very happy. I saw her a few weeks, 2 weeks ago, and she's now very determined to follow it as far as it's possible. You know how with the social constraints, when you meet family at home, not everyone supports it. And her first reaction was, "Oh, that's nice, but I can't do it." Like was my reaction. Obviously, I can't do it. So, but if you start thinking about it and then you give it a try, and so that's one uh, fellow family member
Yeah.
that has she let herself convince it of it. So
Mm.
that's good.
That's awesome. Um, and the thing really is, you know, like everyone's going to say that, right? They're all going to say, "Oh, yeah, it sounds nice, but I can't do it." But you can't really understand until you do it.
Uh huh.
Like the change in perspective around food, right? Because someone who hasn't done it and says that looks nice, but I couldn't do it, they're looking at that through the lens of doing a regular diet.
Yes. Yes, because they
And
don't know
yeah.
what we're talking about. Because
Mm,
everyone has done diets, the fruit diet, vegetable only diet, whatever diet, fasting. Even though fasting is the good diet to lose weight and to get more healthy, but if you go back to your regular diet, then if you have the yo-yo effect and you gain more weight than you have lost, that's true. So everyone looks at it that way. You have to try it, and that's what I tell everyone. Well, if you don't need it now, think of it if in 10 or 20 years from now you get very ill or you have a health issue you don't know how to cure or you need to take lots of medicine. Uh, think of it and try it. Try it then if you don't want now. Because I tell everyone who is interested to listen a little bit more, to try it and to just test it. So that's on behalf of everyone to find out.
mm,
There's a German community, obviously, for of carnivores. Um, I can share you provide the link for you for a blog that I also listen to. She's a lady. The blog's called Meat Time in German, Fleischzeit. So I'll provide it to you so you can put it on screen. And so with that group or part of that group, uh, that community, there's like a regular meeting every year. Last year, they started another meeting, like a weekend retreat, to study the Bible in terms of carnivore. And that was really interesting because, I mean, I don't know if you're a Christian or not, or if you've read the Bible or you know about the Old Testament, the customs of the Jews to sacrifice animals. And you have priests, the priesthood, they don't have any land. They are living off of the more or less off of the offerings of the rest of the people. And so they eat tons of meat and fat because many of the offerings, they get offers. Some of them are burned, but some of them, it says in the Bible actually, the priests and their families, they will eat the meat and the fat. So so in this retreat during the weekend, we studied the Bible from this point of view, from the carnivore perspective, and there's a ton of material. There's really a lot, and there's one a Bible verse I would like to share. I could send it to you. It's in Isaiah 25 verse 6, and it says, "And in this mountain shall the Lord of hosts, make unto all people a feast of fat things, a feast of wines on the lees, of fat things full of marrow, of wines on the lees well refined." So it's talking about fatty meat and marrow, bone marrow, as a feast from God Almighty. So if it's a special occasion, it's not fruit, it's not vegetable, it's not apple pie or cake. It's meat, fat, and marrow. So that was astonishing for many of us, that there's also a connection there.
Yeah. Um, it's it's so interesting how we've been able to almost be re-educated over the last kind of 20, 30, 40 years that,
Uh,
oh no, we're meant to be plant-based. This is the way it's meant to be. And yeah, we just got unhealthier and unhealthier as a result.
yes, yes. So that's and what I figured out, there's a lot of parallels to the carnivore and Christianity, because you can talk to someone about being carnivore and the benefits, and your physical, you get in shape a lot more, you lose weight, and all those benefits, as I said. Um, People won't believe you. They say, "Nah, that's not for me. That's bogus or something. I don't believe that." You can only find out if you go for it and do it yourself. And the same is with the Christian faith. You can tell someone about God and Jesus and the eternal life. Um, Many people would say, that's not for me. That's for old people that are almost dying. They can take care of that. Not for me. I'm young. You can only find out what's behind if you go for it. So we thought, and on that weekend, this retreat, we found lots of parallels in these two areas. There's the world, or the media is full of lies. We're told lots of lies. We tend to believe if we are told them long enough or often enough. So it's for everyone to find out for herself, on
Mm,
both carnivore and for me, it's also Christian faith.
right, right. So Sebastian, if people want to get in contact with you, do you have any way to reach out, any social media or anything else?
I don't have a lot of social media. I don't have a YouTube channel or anything like that. But you can provide my email address, Sebastian
Right.
at googlemail.com.
I'll put it in the show notes. Sebastian, thank you very much for coming on and sharing your story. I really appreciate your time.
Oh, thank you very much, Dave. I've thought about a lot about being here, and now I pushed through, and it was a really nice time, and I was very excited. And thanks for listening to me.